Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the TV6 Digital Desk live stream. My name is Molly Birch, and I'll be taking you through a recap of today's headlines. This stream runs every night, starting at 8/7 Central Time from Sunday to Thursday. You can find us streaming on both Facebook or YouTube, whichever platform you would prefer. Feel free to comment and ask any questions you have in the chat as you feel like it. I'll do my best to keep an eye on those comment sections and answer any questions you have as we go and after the stream as well. With all of that business out of the way, let's take a look at our first story for tonight. Right now, a 31-year-old Wisconsin man is dead after an ATV crash yesterday morning. The Marinette County Dispatch says the crash was on Old 38 Road, just north of Dow Dam Road in Amberg, Wisconsin. Investigators say the 31-year-old man was driving the ATV and did not make the curve, went into the ditch, and hit several trees. He was not wearing a helmet and died on scene. Investigators say alcohol and speed are believed to be factors in the crash, but this is still under investigation. And over in Tilden Township, one person sustained minor injuries after a single vehicle crash near County Road 482. Just before 5 yesterday, the Marquette County Sheriff's Office was called to a single vehicle versus power pole crash with downed lines on County Road 581. A 33-year-old Marquette man was the driver of the vehicle but was not hurt. A juvenile passenger had minor injuries. County Road 482 and County Road PPH were closed for several hours while crews fixed the down lines. Speed is believed to be a factor in this crash, but it is still under investigation. If you plan to travel the skies next year, Marquette-Sawyer Regional Airport announced daily service to Minneapolis will return. With the help of a $750,000 grant from MDOT's Office of Aeronautics, the airport and its partners pitched the Minneapolis flight to SkyWest Airlines. It returns on January 3rd. The airport operations director says Marquette County businesses will have a reliable flight close to home.
With our current flights with Detroit and Chicago, heading west is sometimes challenging. Minneapolis is another hub that will give us better access to the westerly side of the country.
Lake Superior Community Partnership also introduced the Sawyer Pledge, which any business in the county can take to support their home airport. And today is a day of remembrance for those forced to attend native boarding schools. Orange shirts filled the event center of Northern Waters Casino and Watersmeet. This crowd is here to commemorate Orange Shirt Day. The event included music, prayer, a remembrance walk, and stories from visitors. A Lac Vieux Desert tribal member and survivor of Holy Childhood in Harbor Springs spoke today. She says sharing her story is important for healing.
It's important to tell our stories so that the history of our people doesn't get repeated and it gets remembered so that it can bring about a better understanding and awareness of what our people go through.
Orange Shirt Day is every September 30th. And our National Guard is now better prepared to work with soldiers across branch and country lines. In August, the Michigan National Guard hosted Exercise Northern Strike. It's the largest National Guard Bureau-sponsored training in the nation. The Michigan National Guard told TV6's Tristen, Kendrick, and Blair that they were the first journalists to be embedded with the soldiers at Camp Grayling in Lower Michigan. The highlight of the trip for Grace, flying in a Black Hawk helicopter, as you just saw. She says the adrenaline rush was like no other, and the pilot was a man from Lance. Even though their training mission didn't go as planned, he told Grace there's always something to learn to ensure these soldiers can keep us safe in an emergency.
There's nothing else like flying a Black Hawk.
More than 6,300 soldiers, 37 U.S. states and territories, 5 countries. Everyone at Camp Grayling with one goal.
We help the units get ready. If they're going to be deploying somewhere in the Middle East or anywhere else, we try to help get them prepared for the type of enemy forces that they might encounter.
While this annual 2-week training was all hands on deck, everyone in the National Guard is also a civilian with normal, everyday jobs. Chief Warrant Officer Kempinen flies Black Hawk helicopters for the National Guard, but his full-time job is working Border Patrol for the federal government. And he comes home every night to his family here in the UP.
I do have kids. They all live in Painesville right now. They go to Houghton schools. It's beautiful. I've always loved the UP. I've loved The Western UP, the most. I mean, grew up there, grew up in the area, and it's home.
And after 23 years in the Guard, Kempinen says he's loved every bit of it.
I joined because I always found it interesting to do stuff like that. I knew my cousin joined a couple years prior, and there was obviously college money, and also I just wanted to had just experience the life. I heard like a lot about it. A lot of my friends were doing it. Just sounded like a good opportunity.
Kempinen and the rest of the flight crew were supposed to fly from Camp Grayling to Beaver Island and then to K.I. Sawyer and back. But once we were in the air, wind kept us from completing the mission.
Weather came in up in Marquette area and a little bit south of there, and we couldn't get it. We couldn't fly into that area.
Even when the mission doesn't go as planned, like this one, Chief Warrant Officer Kempinen says there's something everybody can still learn.
Not only the people that are flying it, but other people. There's all sorts of things that are going on. It's all part of the training for actually going into combat if we had to do this for real life. Since we didn't get to do the whole mission, we still helped us out a lot by getting us in the aircraft, getting up, going that way, getting to know the area, going over water, checking out different landmarks, being able to talk to people, we flew 4-ship multi-ship, which is 4 aircraft in our ship. And that's always a bonus to do because that's a skill that you have to keep on working on to get better at it.
Kempinen's family was waiting for him in K.I. Sawyer, and since we didn't make it there, he left a message for his kids.
Maya, Eli, Austin, I love you. Dad loves you and misses you. I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Grace. Chief Warrant Officer Kempinen wasn't the only Youper Grace and Tristen met. Later this week, we'll introduce you to a man from Ishpeming who works in the Tilden mine. Tomorrow, Tristen Kendrick will show you the other side of flying, the refuelers. That will be on your TV6 News tonight at 7/6 Central Time and here on your TV6 Digital Desk live stream at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. The Marquette County Veterans Alliance in our next story has named Ray Carlson as the 2024 Veteran of the Year. Carlson served in the Navy in 1970 and 1971. He's gotten involved with the American Legion since moving to Marquette about 40 years ago. He is the finance officer and helps out with the Legion's youth sports and 4-H programs. Carlson says he's honored to be recognized.
There's some really good people that have been honored with that before, and it's hard to think that I'm in that company, but it's an honor. I thank the committee for awarding this to me.
Carlson will officially receive his award at 5:30 in the evening on October 5th at the Marquette American Legion Post. The public is invited to celebrate with him.
Somewhere in there.
And finally tonight on the TV6 Digital Desk live stream, one of Marquette County's premier performing arts events is back for another year. This Saturday from 3 to 11 p.m., people of all ages are encouraged to check out the 4th annual Fall Phantasm at Lake and Inland Sculpture Park. Anyone who attends can take a shuttle from the Ojibwa Casino. The nonprofit Marquette Fringe is hosting the event. The organization's president says he's expecting attendance to exceed last year's total of 2,000 people.
Fall Phantasm, which this year's theme is a journey through the underworld, is a very immersive, full discipline of all the performing arts. So dance, music, theater. If you can think of it, odds are it's going to be at the Phantasm.
The event is completely free to attend. Costumes are encouraged, but not required. An easy way to get ready for Halloween, test that costume out on Saturday before you take it out on Halloween. Well, that's all the stories that we have for you tonight. Thank you all for joining me here live at the TV6 Digital Desk. If you have a story idea you think we should report on, feel free to contact us at any time. These are a few easy ways to get a hold of both myself and others in the newsroom. And again, you can contact us at any time. We'd love to hear from you and what's happening in your community. Thank you again for joining me live here at the TV6 Digital Desk. I'll see you all tomorrow on Facebook and on YouTube, whichever platform you would prefer, at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Before that, you can catch TV6's Mandy Koskela and Michael Sobek from the morning team at 8:45 a.m. Eastern Time. They'll be recapping some top headlines from the morning, starting your day off on a bit of a high note with them. That's all I've got for you tonight. Thanks again for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow.